It's 5:31. Let's get going.
You
ready?
Go ahead, yep.
Thank you. Call the meeting to order. Jen, will you take roll call, please?
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Corbin.
Here.
Commissioner Waldner. Commissioner Thill.
Here.
Mayor Denner.
Here. You have in front of us the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Then we'll go into exec session. Do I have a motion to go into exec session at 5:31, 32?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion to go into exec session and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. We'll go into exec session, so if I could have you guys step out, please.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
That's okay.
Tardiness.
You're on again.
Okay, thank you, Jen. All right, we came out of exec session. We will have no vote on any items in the exec session, so we'll move down to appearance acknowledgements. See none there. Does anybody want anything moved off of the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second. I got a motion to approve the consent calendar in a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Seeing nothing under unfinished business, we'll move into new business. Number 1, adopt resolution 2019-26, approve a replat lot 1A and 1B, block 2, Miller First Edition. Chad.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and Commission. Included in the agenda packet is said plat and a resolution number 2019-27. That is a resolution with the verbiage from the plat. This is a replat, so that it has not went before the Planning Commission. The ordinance says that can be the case when it is a replat. This is just makes 2 separate lots and legal descriptions up at the intersection of Division Avenue and 9th Street Northeast. And the gentleman here included, shown as the owner, Sean Calise, has coordinated with us on this, and it's my understanding that he will be trying to build 2 different houses on those 2 different lots that are being created, if you will, by this plat. Pretty straightforward, and I would recommend approval.
It'd be nice to put some houses on that. I know that's nice. It's a corner lot there and a focal point, certainly for that whole area.
Well, is there any concern about what kind of houses he's putting on there?
I think they have covenants in that area.
Okay.
Yes,
Already.
they have covenants. Developers oftentimes place covenants on property, and that is something that it's up to, well, whatever the language is in that covenant. However, that's quote unquote managed or overseen, whether it's a homeowners association or the developer himself or whatever it may be. So we're aware that there's covenants there. We've also reviewed some of the preliminary drawings of the proposed structures. This gentleman wants to start this year, and we've done some preliminary review to to verify that it complies with our setbacks and such. That my understanding is he wants to proceed without having to get a variance or conditional use or anything like that. So that's what his goal is, and so if things go as he hopes, they will be able to be starting shortly.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2019-26, approve a replat, lots 1A and 1B, block 2, Miller's First Edition. That's been under new business item number 1.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further comment or discussion? If not, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Nay. Motion carried. Number 2, adopt resolution 2019-27, approve a plat, Block B and Lot C of Lot 4, Block 2, Lakeview Industrial Park, 18th edition. Chad?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the commission. Included in the agenda packet is also what I would describe as a replat of Lot 4, Block 2 of Lakeview Industrial Park, creating sublots B and C in that vicinity. It's south. It's in the vicinity where Lake Area Improvement Corporation. Actually, Lake Area Improvement Corporation is the owner, but it's where they built a couple spec buildings. And in particular, Lot C is an area that has been reserved, if you will, via an option that the city acquired for our water tower.
Yep.
And so, as that project continues to proceed forward, the rural development project, we've decided to request that this be platted and in relatively short order, likely be transferred to the city so that we can commence with some of the geotechnical exploratory to place a tower there and other topographical surveys and so on. And so that's why this is proceeding. I anticipate those other items coming forward in relatively short order. And then as far as Lot B there, that was also an area identified where there might be some future city infrastructure there, but that remains to be seen in coordination with Lake Area Improvement Corporation, our utility folks, and so on. It was just thought, while we're asking them to plat Lot C, might as well have them plat Lot B as well. That may or may not transfer to the city at the same time as Lot C, but at least it's there and ready to do that. Again, I wanted to reemphasize that I would describe this as a replat, and I would recommend approval.
Chad, is there any cost to the city on doing the replat or when the transfer?
There is no cost for the plat in particular. As far as the language in the option regarding when it's transferred, I don't have that on the top of my head. There's zero cost for the property, I can tell you that.
Okay.
There may be a clause in there that we split closing fees or something like that,
Okay.
but I can't say definitively. We'll let you know as that process is going,
Okay.
you and others.
Thank you.
This is truly a replat though, because our cover sheet and our agendas both say plat. The first one
Correct.
was a replat, this is also a replat.
I would describe it as a
So we should-
replat.
Amend the resolution if you make that part of your motion that this should be a replat, please. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
I'll make a
Sorry,
motion
didn't catch that.
that we adopt the resolution 2019-27, approve a replat, Lot B, Lot C of Lot 4, Block 2, Lakeville Industrial Park, 18th edition.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more comments, discussion? Not. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 3, approve volunteer for Lake County electronic recycling drop-off event. Is yours, Jen, or Kelly's?
About the tag team?
Tag
Yeah,
team?
but it's a
Okay.
baseball team, I think, is going to help us
It is
from
the
Dakota
VSC
State.
baseball team, yep, you have a long list here tonight.
And from my understanding is we're probably going to need a long list, given the fact that we didn't have one in April, and also from the flood. Also, I'm sure there'll be debris, electronics from the flood that will show up too. So,
And this is this Saturday, correct?
correct. So we're going to but we do have a list we're seeking approval. Any complications with that, Jen? I don't think there were at the hearing today. We just think there'll be a lot of outgoing pizza.
Darion, the head coach, is a stand-up guy, and I know a few of the players too. And so
Yeah, I'm
it's
hopeful for this.
going to be some good helpers there for sure.
And this you will remember is a procedure that we do for all of
Yep.
these events.
So we're just approving the volunteers for Lake County Electronics for second and drop off. That, and I'll move that.
Second.
Okay. I got a motion and a second. I do have one comment. Is this for anybody in Lake County, or is this just city?
You know, what was our relationship? We had a relationship with the county on that. I think it's
Lake County?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one.
And I only hesitate because of at one time we had county was with us on this for the financial part of it. I think we're carrying that off. Is that what it is? I don't know.
I believe that the recycling agreement between the salvage company is between Lake County
Yes.
and the company and
It is.
3 other counties.
Yeah.
So that's how it's put together.
It is, and we just need to do some financial part, but that has really nothing to do with approving it or not, so. Yeah, it's for the whole county.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a food for thought, the city is not gonna have somebody come around and pick up TVs and stuff off the curb, so it's up to the property owners to bring it out.
If electronics were left on the property at
Yeah.
the time of the flood pickup, and they're still there, it's the city's, yeah, exactly what Bob said, it's not gonna pick them up. So,
Is there any more comment, discussion?
it can be brought, I wanna distinguish that, though, I wanna make sure they can be brought to the
Right.
recycling center, okay? But
Right.
it's, that they can't be, they can't expect it to be picked up. Thank you.
No more comment, discussion. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Do we have a public comment?
You do, sir?
Jim Casanova, Clean Creek. You want to come on up, Jim?
First, I thought you were gonna discuss about what went on last Monday night before I got mine.
What went on last Monday night?
I guess our announcement.
Oh, yeah.
In-
I don't know if Mike saw those or not.
Okay.
Those are some debris that people have placed by the creek. I know I handed it to the rest of everybody, you were a little bit, you came in at the last minute. Well, last week we discussed, announced that people cannot place debris by the creek, just like they can't dump snow in it, they can't put their garbage in it, but placing debris too close to the creek and where it can be swept away by the, and get in the creek creates all kinds of problems for us. And there is ordinance against that. Because of course the ordinance, but one of the things that might happen is the city, just like somebody doesn't mow their lawn, somebody doesn't shovel their sidewalks, the city does it for them, and then we bill them for it. It'd be the same kind of thing. So the best thing is for people just not to be doing this. I've got a couple of pictures here that you've given to me of where people have piled debris up in the back. It's near the creek.
Is this before or after the flood?
This is after.
That's
Okay.
after.
This is,
Okay.
yeah, this is a whole
Like
new.
10 days later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim brought these to me tonight, and, you know, you think it's high enough up that it's not gonna get swept away, but it did. And it's, you wanna tell us a little bit
Oh,
about
it's all
anything else?
gone before.
Yeah.
Now it's back in there.
Well, but I mean, the debris that was there
Went
before,
down the creek.
that went down the creek. So you can imagine
Not by
that,
my house.
yeah.
If I had a camera, I'd have pictures of it.
Did you wanna say anything now?
No, but you should publish this in the newspaper and the radio, well, they are here, but I mean, people's gotta know is it all gonna go find them, or how's it gonna work?
Okay.
Most of that is done on a complaint basis. Like if you're talking, you know, grass too tall or sidewalks not being shoveled, that's all complaint driven, meaning they would have to basically call the police department and then give the address or the location, in this case, by the creek where the stuff is at, and then the city would take it from there, whether it be something like this, we'd obviously have to involve the streets department and some of those guys to, the police obviously don't have the equipment to take
No,
care of
no,
stuff
and I would
like
just
that.
use
So
the.
It would be a
yeah.
city issue beyond that.
It's
And-
a nuisance
and-
issue, say it, it'll
Yeah,
just say
We
what
had
it
all
is.
that cleaned out there
Yeah.
before the flood ever happened, back in April, May, city come in, and took all that out,
Yep.
and then they piled it back in there again. And then Mother Nature came along and washed it down the creek, now we're getting it back again. But I don't think, me, as a taxpayer, I think there's gotta be a ordinance for the city to, instead of me signing an agreement to have this guy arrested. I think that, didn't you say the attorney said you can push it?
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
Huh?
that might be something that
Yeah,
we
there's
could
something we
look-
could ask the person to, the city could address it without necessarily, it usually comes to us as a complaint, like Mike was saying. Usually it's somebody draws our attention to it. It doesn't have to be that
It
way.
isn't just behind me, it's all.
No, I understand that, I understand.
And Tim Hicken was gonna talk to you about that too, but he had other things to go, because your first deal went on too long. But, you know, he said that people do that all the way through
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
And if you go down on Egan Avenue, just take a look at that bridge on the east side. 'Cause I was gonna take a picture of that today, but the traffic was horrible down there. It's all stuck in the bridge right now, in the
The
creek,
fence.
hung up in a tree. I mean, when are we gonna get that, who's gonna take that out? Is the city or who owns the creek?
Yeah,
City.
you know, Jim, and part of this is that being a citizen in a community, it's part of being part of society and being a productive and positive individual or a positive impact on society and as a citizen in our community. And unfortunately, there are those who do this kind of thing. And the hard part about it is, as taxpayers, we all end up paying for that because the city ends up picking that up. I mean, it costs money for you to call the police department, and now our police have to react to that, and all of that stuff costs money as, you know, simply from a citizen not being, if you will, cordial, I guess, to their fellow citizens. I mean,
Considerate enough.
let's be
Yeah.
honest. And it's no different than the individuals who put a bunch of junk and trash out at the tree dump and the leaves place. And, you know, that's ridiculous that people do that when signs are clearly posted. They clearly know they shouldn't be doing that, and yet they still do. And I wish I had an answer for that, but I don't.
Well, now you got me mad a little bit, Jim, way to go.
Huh?
You got me a little worked up about this. The other part about this is this stuff could all been hauled out to the yard waste site.
Yeah,
There's nothing in here at all. Well, the wood couldn't have, that painted wood, but they could have piled, obviously somebody hauled this in and dumped it by the creek.
They did.
You know, it could have just as easily been, however they hauled it in, could have been hauled out to the waste site and
Yeah.
dumped out there. It wouldn't have cost them anything, you know, and it wouldn't have endangered, you know, more stuff being
Anybody.
into the creek. I say that about the painted stuff, because that painted stuff can't go in the yard waste site. That
Right.
has to go out to the restricted use site.
But
Like,
it-
you're right, this is absolutely,
But
all
it
this
will
is
go down the
just,
creek if we get
this
high
is,
water again.
you know,
Then who
like I said,
gets
you
it?
got me worked up here now, you know,
Huh?
this is, as Mike was saying, this is about responsible citizenship.
there you go.
You know, everybody wants something, but wants something done about this and that, and they have a right to ask, okay? And certainly there are some things that we, as a city, try to keep up on, and you're right, we have a lot of work to do yet. I can name you some other sites by the creek where things have washed out, and we just haven't got them picked up yet. They still need to be taken care of. The flood isn't over yet for Public Works.
No.
It just isn't.
And this is,
But some of this stuff could be, the average individual could take care of this themselves. And it isn't just tree branches. I've seen people pile their leaves and their lawn clippings along the creek. You just throw them along there. That stuff eventually is gonna all move down the creek.
Yeah.
You know, and it creates log jams for us.
But I think the
So-
city should put a big notice in the radio and in the newspaper so that the property owners live along the creek, maybe they'll stop doing it.
News and radio, can you help us out on that?
In some way, get us started on the right direction.
Another thing that's bad is not just the logs and trees and stuff, but they cannot be pushing their snow into the creek either,
Yes.
because that could cause a terrible ice jam in the spring. We don't want that.
One thing I just wanted to say, I think I'm on the right track here. I've talked to our attorney about this at one time. It just related to one thing Jim might have mentioned. I think technically in the large part of the creek, the city doesn't own it. It runs across private property, but I think there's a finer point to be made on that. And that's a discussion for another day, you know,
Yep.
but I think that's not something that's negligible.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, now, can I say,
Yep.
when are we gonna start trying to mow these creeks? Is that mower capable?
I don't think it's working right now.
Huh?
I don't think it's working right now. The last time, we used it for a while and it blew out a cylinder.
I got a better suggestion then. I think you should, being so wet, bring a tractor mower with a longer arm that you can get down and do a good job. They're available in Sioux Falls.
Okay.
But
I'll
I mean,
pass that on
that
to
way you
Gary.
wouldn't mark up the creek. I mean, somebody said it's too wet. There isn't such a thing as being too wet. I mean, the farmers say it's too wet too, but
Sure.
they're still trying to farm. But I think we should think of this.
Well, the other part of it is we will get down and do some more work in the creeks when it freezes up too.
But you can't do it if it gets full
No.
of snow.
No, that's true. It's a fine line. A few years ago in November, we were able to get down there. This last
But it-
November,
this is
not even
different.
close.
I think this is a good idea. You can rent them track deals and maybe get FEMA money on this. We don't know. I mean, it's an idea, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, these creeks are horrible. I mean, they're full of a lot of stuff. And they're worse now because a lot of them got stuck. I've been driving around looking at these creeks. I hope you guys have too.
I have. And I live near one, you know.
I've been
The
walking.
one that's bad is look at the one
Walking
down
and
Egan.
running.
That creek is bad on Egan Avenue, by the ballpark.
Yep.
Trees,
Yeah.
stuff hanging right in the tree, right along the north bank. I mean, but I think,
And I drive that several times.
Huh?
I probably go over that 2 or 3 times a day. But at this point right now, it's still running pretty good. We need to have a little bit more. We need to get down a little bit. We've got some debris on the sides of the fence that we need to get cleaned off too. Also
I
on
don't
our,
know who's in charge of it, like maybe Gary does that. Who is?
largely it's,
Huh?
largely it's the street department, Gary.
Yeah, well, have him just see if he could rent one on track. I know they're available with a longer arm, if that's, I know the one you guys are using is broke down more than it works.
Yeah, it's not worth,
And maybe you should put them
Yeah,
there.
it was ours, we
Try
got
to buy
it
a new
back,
one.
as you know, we got it back, and trying to put it together, when it works great. I mean, it does a great job, but it's not worth,
Yeah, I
it doesn't
agree.
seem
I
worth
agree.
fixing it,
But
so.
I think, and I see where you bought a new snowblower. I mean, you're probably jumping that gun, and we need a mower worse than the snowblower right now. And maybe need the snowblower in November, but we need the mower now.
We've been planning for this snow blower for some time, we needed this, and we did need this snow blower.
But I appreciate if you have Gary check into this and see
I
if we
will.
can
I
get
will.
one up here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, see.
You probably say you haven't got an operator. I'll operate that thing if you get it up there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Any other announcements? Not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Go ahead.
Sorry, Wendy accordingly, I need that for my minutes, so we right after exec?
No, he was here for about 20 minutes. I
So about
probably
20
left about
minutes,
5
It was
to
about
5:32?
5 to 7.
About 5 to 7, yeah.
6:55?
Yep.
Yep.
5:55? Thank you, I just need that for my minutes.
Yep.
Go ahead then, please.
What time did you say you left?
5? 5:55?
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Yeah.